He had no idea his life would change in the blink of an eye. This is the story of Daniel Maximof, a 24-year-old boy from Pennsylvania. Never broke, never lied, never stole, but the torment of the world puts him in a place where he can no longer be too decent. Sit right and listen to the story of Daniel, the unshakable. All his life, he has always lived in comfort with his mother and sister, Daniel Maximof, despite their father leaving them at a young age. He never let his spirit break. He catered for his sick mom and sister with all his might, worked multiple jobs daily to make sure his sister gets a proper education and his mom also gets all her medications. They've lived a happy life for years without interfering in the affairs of the wicked world. But one night, when Daniel was returning from his night hustle, he noticed three men bursting out of their apartment. Confused, Daniel thought for a moment whether to run after them, but he finally made up his mind and ran into the house, only to meet his mother and sister on the floor. Daniel screams for help. At the hospital, the doctor said his mother's illness had worsened and she might not make it if they do not perform an immediate surgery on her. Heartbroken, he leaves the hospital. Got back home, and tends to his sister's injury with pain in his eyes. When she finally woke up, she said to him, "I saw the people's faces." A slight share of joy is visible on Daniel's face as he walks out of the room. The next day, Daniel goes to visit his mom at the hospital, then later goes to their backyard, and digs out a weapon. He checked the safe they had at home, only to find out that all their money had been taken by those men. Heartbroken. With no option left, he goes straight to the bank to withdraw the last money he had in his account. Many thoughts and ideas bubbled through his head, but he dared not try to rob the heavily guarded bank. He therefore goes to the hospital to deposit the little sum of money that he was able to get from the bank. Later that night, Daniel walks into a supermarket. He immediately points his revolver at the cashier and orders her to put all their money in his bag. Daniel leaves, but his conscience wouldn't let him be. Nevertheless, he goes to his boss's house to seek for a loan, but the man won't give him a dime until his salary's due day. Daniel, who wouldn't let it slip, then tampers with his boss's car. The next day, the boss couldn't leave home with the car. Then Daniel comes in later, and takes every last cash in his boss's safe and immediately heads to the hospital to donate the complete money for his mother's operation. He then gets a caricature artist to sketch the faces of the men that had robbed and harmed his family. Later that night, Daniel walks into one of the men's home, but meets him with his family watching a program on TV. He makes no scene and gently walks out and waits patiently till the man's family is asleep. Daniel then walks in and sees the man by the fridge. He slams the door heavily against the man's head, knocking him to the ground. Daniel points his weapon at him and asks angrily, "Why did you rob my home?" The confused man replies, "I don't even know you. What are you talking about?" Daniel gives him the address to their home and finally asks the man in an angry tone, again, "Why did you rob us?" The man then answered, "I'm sorry, it was all Alan's fault. He needed money for his son's operation." Daniel paused for a minute, and stares deep into the man's eyes. "Why did you not go rob the bank? Or any financial institution? Why my home?" he asks angrily. The man answered, "We didn't know your family was home that day, we just needed to take the money and leave." "Where can I find Alan?" Daniel asks. The man hesitates for a moment, before finally giving Daniel an address. "I don't want to kill you, but I mustn't notice you and your men hunt me, cause if I do, I'll unleash hell on all of you." He turns to leave, but sees the man's kid staring right at him. Daniel does not hesitate and plunges out of the house. On his way, he receives a call. He immediately rushes to the hospital, only to see his sister in a coma, supported with a breathing aid. Completely battered, he breaks down in utter confusion. On the other hand, his boss has given his complaint to the police about a theft in his house and someone tampering with his car. What do you think happened to Adela, and what do you think will be Daniel's next move? This is getting interesting and captivating, right? Give us a follow to see the next part, which is even more interesting and captivating, or you might probably never come across our page again.